How's everyone doing? We're going to cover open G tuning and how I use it for songwriting. And I'm going to start with open G tuning, although the songs that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go through the entire song, but the songs that I have that I'm working on right now are actually capoed. But we're starting with open G tuning, and then when you capo it, you're just changing the key, so it'll become really simple to follow. What I'm going to show you is some of the basic chord shapes and where they fall if you're used to standard tuning, like what's your 4, what's your 5, what's your minor 6, what's your minor 2 and 3, so that you have an idea of what you can use to start building songs, or even taking songs you've already written and moving them to an open tuning. That's always an interesting exercise and fun to do. So we're going to start with just what is open G tuning. That's where you tune your guitar to a G chord. So a G chord is made up of the G, the B, and the D. That's the 1, the 3, and the 5. That makes up your G major chord. And so when you tune your guitar, you may already be aware of this, but the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string is a G chord already, because that's going to be D, G, and B. It's just an inversion of a G chord. That's why when you play a traditional G, you shape it like that, you have those 3 open strings. So all you're doing is you're taking the top string and your bottom string, and you're tuning that down to a D, like you were tuning it into D tuning. But then you're going to take your, so one whole step down, so from an E to a D on the 1st and the 6th string, right? And then on your 5th string, you're going to tune that down a whole step. From an A, you're going to tune that down to a G. Okay, so even though your top string here, we'll call it the root, not really the root, but the lower string, sometimes that's tuned to the chord in question. In this case, it's not. Just the way your strings work out. So your 2nd string, or your 5th string, I should say, is the open G. But when you tune it, you get that nice full G sound, right? So I'm going to show you basically your 1, your 2 minor, your 3 minor, your 4, your 5, and your 5/7, and your 6 minor, right? We're not going to talk 7 diminished, all that weird stuff. With those chords, you should be able to play and write a lot of songs. So, first of all, you strum it open, that's a G, right? And that's really simple. A couple other ways you can play a G is on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, 4th fret, 3rd string, and 5th fret, 4th string, right? So, that's also a G. Slightly different timbre, but the same chord. And you can also drop your pinky down onto the 5th as well, 5th fret. That's still a G. So these are all G chords. And even if you were to take off and just use the first 2 fingers, so 3rd fret, 2nd string, 4th fret, 3rd string, you're still getting a G. So that's your one, multiple ways to play it. And I'll show you how I've used that in a variety of songs. So let's just go through with your 4 and 5. Really simple, just same as my video with open D. If I just fret across the entire fretboard, just bar the entire 5th fret, that's my 4 chord. So in G, that's going to be my C chord. And then if I go to the 7th fret, that's my 5 chord. That's my D chord. Right? It's very rare that I use those when I'm playing in an open G, and I'll kind of show you why. Because I only need to give a semblance of the chords. So you can also play your 4 and your 5 just by the first 3 strings and leave the other strings open. So there's your 4 and 5, a couple ways to play it. I'm going to show you another way as well. But I'm going to take you through the other chords, your minor chords, and then we'll go back and we'll look at how we use them together. So here's our open chord. Now if I take the 1st string, or 1st fret, 2nd string, and I take the 2nd fret on the 4th and 5th. So I'm skipping the third string, right? And that chord right there, that's your first minor chord. That's your 2 chord, right? So in G, that's A minor. Then if I move that up, I just take that same shape and I move it up 1 whole step, so to the third fret, 2nd string, and the 4th fret on the 4th and 5th. That's going to be my B minor. So, and then we already mentioned our 4 and our 5, and then our minor 6th chord, our 6th minor chord, the in this case E minor, is just 1st string 2nd fret and the 4th string 2nd fret. So you can kind of hear it if you were just do like this open G and think of the song Hallelujah. Or think of like a doo-wop song if I just wanted to go you know, the 1 chord, the minor 6th chord, and then the 4 and the 5. I can go. Right, very common pattern. So that's kind of your chord shapes. Now, the upside is if you want to change the key it's in, you just simply take your capo. So in this case, I'm going to move my capo onto 2, and that's going to give me open A instead of open G. I'm just moving it up 1 whole step. Of course, you have to make sure you're still in tune. Usually when you put a capo on, things will go a little sharp. So we just get to, in this case, E, A, and then we're going to have E and A again. And then C sharp. And then E again. So now we're playing an A. And I'll show you kind of the intro and a little bit of the song that I just posted a couple weeks ago, Whiskey Killed the Stream. It's kind of a new song, but it's really just built around that. And I'm also going to show you this other 4 shape, which is kind of a nice use of the 4. This, of course, will work in an open G as well, and that's just fretting the 2nd string 1st fret, the 1st string, or 1st fret, sorry, 1st string 2nd fret, 2nd string 1st fret, and skip the 3rd string and 4th string 2nd fret. So that's also your 4 chord. So it's the same as, really as that, okay? And then your other 5 chord you can use is actually just on the 2nd string 1st fret and the 3rd string 2nd fret. That's kind of a 7th chord. In this case, I'm doing it as a E7, right, because I'm capoed. But if you were in open G, then it would be a D7. I'm looking at my notes here because keeping it top of head is not always so easy for me. Alright, so here's what I did on that song, Whiskey Killed the Stream. It starts on the 1. My verse is going to start on the 4, and it just goes like this. Here's the shapes I'm using. So I'm just doing the 1, but I'm doing a little bit of a hammer-on. I'm going on the 1 and then... Feels just like a reckoning, baby. It looks just like a crime. I could prepare my heart for anything. So you see there I'm using a variety of those shapes and kind of variations of those shapes. One of the nice things about, and what I recommend you do when you play with an open chord, one of the nice things is all these open shapes you can use that you can move around the neck. So even though my full 4, I'm using the 2nd fret on the 1st string, if I just take that off and just have 1st fret, 2nd string, and 2nd fret, 4th string, that gives enough of a feel of that chord change. So going from my 1 to that, and then I'm just going to that 7th and sliding it up. And that's another thing you're going to find in Open G. A lot of ways that you can play chords where you just use the, for instance, the series of shapes you can use. Not that we're covering all of this, but you can use that offset where you're on the 1st fret and 2nd fret on 1 and 2, and move that up to the 3rd and the 4th, and then when you get to the 5th, put them on the same fret. So 2nd string, 5th fret, 3rd string, 5th fret, and move that up to the 7th. Then go back offset, so you're on 8 and 9, right? And then what would be your 12th fret, or capo. So you can just go. So it gives you a bunch of things you can play with. So like I said, I go through that song, and then I'm going to show you one other song kind of intro and some of the same chord shapes that I use. So in this case, I took my capo and I moved it up to 5. Now I'm just moving it into C. So once again, going to make sure I'm tuned. So now it's G, C, G, C, E, and back to G. So there's a C chord. So what I did on Coward and the Fool is I started on my 1, but I had my 5th fret here, and I do this little rundown. So that's kind of how I intro the song is. And back to my 1. So all I'm really doing there is I'm playing my 1 chord, but I also have my pinky on the 5th fret. When I say 5th fret, relative to the capo. And then I'm just basically taking it and I'm moving from the 5th fret to the 4th fret. I leave the 4th string open, but everything here just stays the same. So my 1 and 2 have not moved. They're just on 3 and 4 respectively. So then I go open, and now I'm going to go to that 4 chord shape that I used, and so that's where I'm on the 1st string 2nd fret, 2nd string 1st fret, skip the 3rd fret, or skip the 3rd string, and go to the 2nd fret 4th string. So like this. And just on and off. Now I go to my 7th, or my 5th, my 5th chord, 7th chord, right? And then I slide back up, and that puts me right back at my 1. And I just drop that finger down on my 4th string to give it the more full shape, and then when I start singing, I'm actually putting my finger down on the 5th fret again. So we'll just do that whole intro, and I'll show you how it starts. Now we're east of Phoenix, that old Jeep broke down. Been riding it fast and hard since leaving town. Just like you, it wasn't made to carry me. Broken, sad, and lonely, but I'm free. Back to the 1. Anyways, so that's kind of how I use Open G tuning, and those are some of the chord shapes. I'm going to have a link in the description so you can see those chord shapes and you can kind of play around with them, and hopefully you can use it to inspire your songwriting and write some interesting stuff. Thanks.
It feels just like a reckoning, baby. It looks just like a crime. I could prepare my heart for anything, but all this empty that you're leaving leaves behind. I guess I'll just get over you. I guess there ain't no other way. Just mask the pain and muddle through. I got time, and time is what I need, they say.